As you might have noticed, there is a few things that you can do in order to add detail, but also in order to improve the wall based on what you need for your project. So I'm just going to create a wall on the model space in order to show you something else. Now when creating the walls, something that you can see is that if you select the wall, you're also going to have another option that is called Sweep on the Modify panel. And if you use this option, you're going to be able to open a window in order to add a sweep to the wall. So in this window that is called Add Wall Sweep, you will be able to select the wall component, which in this case, it hasn't been named, as well as the profile definition, which in this case, it will be from scratch, which means that I haven't created a profile just yet, but as well you will be able to change the name of the profile as well as other options that we're also going to cover throughout these lessons. So what I'm going to do is just change the name and then click on OK. And once that I have done this, I just need to select the location that I want to use in order to create the sweep. So once that I select the location within the wall, we are going to be able to see the profile with controls that will allow you to edit the profile. Now as you notice, these controls are very similar to the ones that you can find on the polyline, but also you will find a few controls that are a little bit different. So you will be able to add an offset as well as adding and removing the vertex, but also you will be able to convert a segment from a line to an arc. And you will be able to determine the radius graphically or by inputting values on the keyboard. Now with this in mind, you are able to offset the entire profile. And with this being said, you will also have other controls in order to modify each vertex of the profile. So you will be able to edit by using these options, which are Move, Remove, and also Offset Edges. Now the Offset Edges will actually allow you to offset the segments that are connected to the vertex. And once you finish editing the profile, you can just simply click where it says Finish in order to validate the change. And once you have done this, you are going to see the change on the wall. And now since you're able to add a profile, you're also able to use this drop-down on the Modify panel in order to edit the profile that was created. And as a quick side note, this option is called Edit Profile in Place. So once I select the wall with the profile they are created, we are going to see a few options on the profile panel, such as for example, Zoom to, Add Vertex, and Remove Vertex. Now as you notice, the Zoom to will allow you to zoom as close as possible to the profile, which is pretty useful when editing the profile, or when you need to see a little bit better the profile that you're editing. And as a quick side note, the autosave that you have in AutoCAD will not actually save your drawing while editing the profile. Now at the same time, you are able to add a vertex by using this option, which requires for you to select the reference or point for which you're going to be adding the next vertex. But also, since you are able to add a vertex, you will be able to remove the vertex by using the option that is called Remove Vertex. And this will allow you to even remove a vertex that you created by using the controls. Now as a quick side note, you cannot use Ctrl+C until you unselect the profile, or in other words, until you use Escape on the keyboard, and then you will be able to use Ctrl+C. Now at the same time, since you are able to create a profile, you are able to save the profile, so you can have more than one profile already created within your drawing. So you can select a different name, and then you just need to click on OK in order to have both profiles already saved in your drawing, so you can use them when you create a new sweep. So you will be able to edit the profile that you're using for the walls by using these controls, along with the options for the controls that you have on the segments as well as on the vertices, which on the vertices are move, remove, and offset edges. Now with this being said, I'm just going to edit the sweep, or in other words, the profile of the wall, by just simply removing unnecessary edges, but also by using another option that is called Convert to Line. Now as a quick sign off, when you edit the sweep, or in other words, when you edit the profile of the wall, you are going to see that among the controls, you're actually going to have a control that is almost at the center of the profile, or more specifically, at the geographic center of the profile. And this control will actually allow you to extend or unextend the wall. And with this being said, you're able to use options in order to modify the profile. So you're able to use, for example, a ring in order to do this. And this is one of those options that will require for you to create a shape by using a tool or command, such as the rectangle or the polyline. However, the tool or command that I'm going to use is the line, because you can actually create a drawing that once it's created, you can then join into one single line by using the join tool or command. So I'm going to do this in order to also show you that you can create the shape that you need either way. And while doing this, we're also going to notice that I changed the model view from top to left. And this is because the view in which I'm going to draw is the left view. So this is a way in which you will be able to draw on the same view in which you have the profile, which is something that you can notice because on the view cube, it also changes from left to top. So the one view that I'm actually using is the top. But also, once I created the drawing, I'm going to use the join tool or command in order to convert this drawing into a polyline. And as a quick sign off, every time that you edit the profile, you actually need to select the wall. So you can actually use the option that is called Edit Profile in Place. However, you still need to select once again the location on the wall for editing, or in other words, where this profile is going to appear in order for you to edit it. And while editing the profile, you are going to see that the representation of the coordinate system is going to change based on the representation of the origin of the profile. And this is because when you actually edit the profile, the coordinate system is actually being used based on this reference within the profile. And once that I click on finish, you're going to see that now additional shape has been added to the profile of the wall. Now as a quick sign off, while I was doing this, you might have noticed that I had an option in order to add or subtract, and this is because you're also able to subtract by also using this option. So after creating the following shape, I'm going to edit once again this profile in order to use the option that is called Add Ring in order to remove from the profile. Now remember that you can erase the shapes that you use in order to edit the sweep of the wall, because this is not going to change the profile of the sweep, or in other words, the profile of the wall. And as a quick sign off, the name that was selected for the profile is also going to appear as the style of the profile on the properties palette. Now with this being said, we're also going to have another option that is called Replace Ring. Now Replace Ring actually replaces the entire profile. So in this case, if I use this option, you're going to see that if I click where it says replace ring, and then I select the shape that I want to use, you're going to notice that I'm going to be replacing the profile with the shape that I selected, which is something that you can do with any shape that you create on the model space. So in this case, as you notice, you only have one single profile, so even though you are able to modify the profile by using add ring, at the end, it's still one single profile. So when you use replace ring, what you're actually doing is actually replacing the profile of the wall. And as you notice with all of this, adding a sweep to the wall is actually nothing more than changing the profile that is used for the wall. And something that you're going to see throughout the course is that you're going to be able to add profiles to other objects that you can place on the model space. So this means that you will be able to add and edit profiles with different objects by using many of these options. So I'm going to show you once again how you can use the option that is called Add Wing in order to change the profile that is being used for the wall, or in other words, the sweep. But also I'm going to do this in order to show you how can you do this, because since I'm using a polyline, the use of the references actually becomes important. So you can use the wall in order to draw references on the model space. Now as a quick side note, you're going to see that when you select the shape, you have an option in order to erase the layer geometry. So you can choose to erase it, but also you can choose to keep it in case that you want to edit it. Now once I finish editing the shape, I'm just going to use the modify panel, or more specifically, the option or tool or command that is called edit profile in place. So once that I use this option, I can just simply click where it says replace ring in order to do the same thing once again. But also, as you remember, I can even save this profile, so I can have a different profile available for the wall. So as you notice, these options are pretty easy and pretty convenient when you're editing the wall.